does this formation look like? Is it a 4-2-2-1?
So you have a 4-3-3.
Okay, it's 4-3-3.
You have a 4-3-3.
Against our opponent, Cape Verde. It's just in just about a minute or so. It will be kickoff. Then we can let this ball go, and then we can start talking through it. And this is their formation as well. So they have Vozinha, they have Steven, they have Logan Dosta, Fernandez is here, Jovan Cabral is there, Bebe is there, Mendes. We also have Pina. And what's their formation looking like?
So they have a 3-3-3 that they are playing.
Okay.
And I'm sure what they want to do is to ensure that they don't allow us to have a free-flowing game.
Okay.
And then they would take you on. They have loaded their midfield, as you can see.
Yes.
They have loaded their midfield. So they are going to make sure that they know that our midfield is always very effective. And so once they have also loaded it, what they are going to do is to ensure that they don't allow you to penetrate. And then they will do what they can to use it to also counter.
But is this something that we can counter from what you're seeing here?
I always say that, it's not easy, but everybody thinks that Cape Verde is going to pose a challenge to us. They would always come in like that. But tournaments are tournaments. My only worry is that Ghana and Black Stars, not just the Black Stars, but typically Ghanaian sides do not have a good start. We don't always start well. We may win by a slim margin. We may not play too beautifully. Sometimes we may even lose or draw, but it's always a slow start. And then as the tournament wears on, they pick up and then they get into their groove and they go on. I am only praying that we don't have a bad day.
Okay.
Because when we have a bad day, it could affect the psyche of the team.
Okay, let's take the seat, and then I'm sure Gifty would also tell us what her thoughts about this particular lineup that we have, what we are seeing so far. What does it look like for you?
At least we have, I think out of the 19 new players we have going in there, we see a lot of them. We're just seeing only 2 of them are players that are out of the 6 that have gone for the AFCON before are playing. That's Jordan and then Ofori. I don't know. But I feel these people have no pressure. They are going to play their heart out to rather showcase what they have. We always call our team developing and a team we are growing. Maybe today we are going to play a very growing team. And then at the end of the day, statistics are better than when you check the Cape Verde. So maybe stats will help us.
Okay.
And maybe Cape Verde are also going to be excited about the way our boys are going to play today. Because yesterday, watching the host play, you could see that Guinea-Bissau boys just came to watch the host. Maybe it's going to be the same.
We are hoping that it will be for Ghana.
Because the formation they are playing is a good formation.
Okay.
And I don't know how we're going to be able to manage it, but they are both strong behind and strong on the attack.
Okay, Vero,
to do a lot.
As we've kicked the ball, maybe it's a good time for me also to kick, and then you can also tell us your thoughts on what's happening there in terms of our lineup since the kickoff has started. At least we've started.
The lineup is a bit different compared to the coach's approach to games so far. Today, the balance is quite there. We had mentioned in the past that if you look at the team, there was some sort of rigidity in the midfield, no creativity. And I think it's partly because he's very defensive oriented. He's been that kind of coach at Brighton or previously at the club side. However, I have been surprised about how we have conceded goals continuously for a coach who is that defensive. And it begs the question, does he know his players? Is he reading the game well? Is he playing them to their advantage? You have all these questions without the answers, and you're hoping that at this tournament he's able to make that difference. But he's playing a 4-3-3. What I foresee him trying to do is that at any point in time, every department will have to be a little stronger. So when under attack, you have some of the midfielders drawing back just to make up the numbers. So you can see that is the approach he's looking at. And I am happy that Ashmero is starting because there's been very little creativity in the midfield. And with Ghana, a lot of people say that, okay, would we ever have another Asamoah Gyan? And I keep telling them, not yet. If you check our history, we are not really good at having goal scorers. it is how come, let me forget about the past where those times when they were winning the AFCON, but let me come to my level where I saw Tony Yeboah. Yes, for a long time, Yagola was that man to give you the goals. If you look around, our strength has always been in midfield. For the years that we have been a delight to watch, we have been very good. As our midfielders scoring a lot of goals.
Okay.
Asamoah was always that different. In between, you had the Matthew Amwa, Prince Tego, Baruso, a few others, joining attack. But yes, coming and go. But he was always distinguished. It's because he was special. So our biggest strength is not goal scoring. Every now and then, you have a player and you have to tweak around it. Something Milo and others did very well. If you watch our recent games, Inaki, it's always very isolated. It's because there is no creativity in middle that targets him. Kudus is skillful and everything, but he has been very individualistic every time he is playing for Ghana.
Okay.
So you see, there has been that difference, and unfortunately, it hasn't been that helpful. But today, the lineup has given me a bit of hope in terms of the fact that we may see a bit of creativity. Because if you have that kind of creativity,
From what you're watching so far, do you see?
we are actually under attack.
I mean, Emma, you don't have to be too hard on the players. I mean,
Okay.
for crying out aloud, this is their first AFCON. Apart from
most of
Jordan,
the players.
for Jordan and
Yeah, we have
Playing
just
as a team.
I'm
Okay.
talking about the starting lineup. Apart from Jordan and Ufori, none of them have tasted an AFCON.
Why would we take such a risk?
Because at a point you may have to, and that is what also delves into what Vero was saying, the succession plan. How do we plan? And you see, I always say that football is no longer having the skill and talent. It is like executing a project.
Okay.
You need to plan and have a strategy to execute that project if you want a successful execution.
You have a new coach.
So-
then just two
so-
who've been there before. One wonders.
So, I mean, because the players are not available, I was thinking that, we don't have them. These are what we have now. And for me, I always say that these are the players who have gone to represent us. At a point, there would always be a starting point. I mean, in time past, when we were not playing international competitions, in the times that we won the 4 successive AFCONs, the players were basically home-based. They were playing for Hearts and Kotoko and a few other sides, the Republicans and all that. So it was easy for you to build it. Modern-day football is no longer like that. You don't have the luxury of keeping your players for even 20 days. You at most 10 days.
You get 10 days.
I mean, if you get 10 days, you'll be lucky. If we had gone, the AFCON had gone to June, July, then you are likely to have more days because at that time, the European leagues will be off. We no longer have those luxury. And it's always been like that. So for me, I always say that it is the man who is executing this plan for success. How do you plan? How do you intend to stay? Because at some times, you would have to strategize and say that, look, you are not going for the big wins. Because sometimes you even go for the big wins, and by the time you know, you have thrown yourself to an opponent that is likely to threaten your exit at an early stage. So all these are part of it. I mean, sometimes you look at it and somebody will say that, look, my third game, I want to avoid this particular opponent and go this way because I know it is easier for me to handle this one. But for us, we need to make that first point. Vero has said, Gifty has said, there won't be pressure on them. We have Ashmero who is going to...
half all through.
You have to stoke the pressure. I mean, don't forget, you are now going an inexperienced side, Ghana being the inexperienced side, against a consistent, cohesive side.
Okay.
A team that has played, at least if for nothing at all, for some of them, this will be their second AFCON. They've been playing week in, week out. Anytime there is a competition, a qualifier, these are the players who will be called to play. So they know themselves. It's just like, I mean, that telepathy is there. Okay. And so naturally the pressure will be on us. And their strategy, I see, is for them to have an early goal against Ghana because they know that when they have an early goal, they probably
Is that an
would-
offside I just saw? I don't really
Is
understand.
a throw-in.
The flag just went up. What does that mean? It's a throw-in. Okay. All right then.
You know, sorry.
So, I mean, they would, at this point, they are piling out the pressure because they are playing a pressing game, hoping to get a first goal that would unsettle us, and probably once we are unsettled, they will capitalize on it. What we need to do is to calm down, put the ball on the turf, and make sure that we are out of danger by moving the ball out of our area, at least into the other half.
Okay, I see Gifty moving here and there, watching what's going on. Is this the kind of startup and the team that we sanctioned as GFA, you say? Because I'm sure people watching now will be wondering, GFA for when Amusi and Konkoboana, is this what you sanctioned, you say?
MFA, we had 30 players going for AFCON. Like I said, we knew 19 of them had never been. And then it has its own positives and negatives. Like she said, these are people who, they have no pressure. Nobody's looking at their names. Nobody's thinking about would they be able to do it or not. Theirs is supposed to just play on the turf, stop the hops, and play it well. So at this point, it's more of the coach showing leadership.
Okay.
And saying, this is what I have made you to do, so go do it well. And then we are not seeing a lot, like, I'm happy right from the beginning. The guys are taking us like that. Like she said, these are people who are playing in their local leagues. They are not traveling. They are always together.
Okay.
So they would naturally connect more than we are doing. But so far, we've not seen anything too bad being done by our guys. Maybe we don't have goal scorers. So
It's just a penalty.
no, it's not a penalty.
What is it? Okay.
that was too easy and
That was too easy. Okay. Okay.
So what I really expect Ghana to do today is to make sure we take over after some time, because we have young people there. They are very vibrant. They should be able to hold up and make sure they do more of a faster game, because when they do a lot of slow games, these guys are very, when you check Cape Verde, they are very, very fast when it comes to connection of goals, and then most of their passes are on point.
Okay.
So you cannot risk
As against ours.
Yes. You cannot risk anything against them like that. But then, like I said, stats are good for us. So let's play our stats.
Okay. So this infringement, how would you describe it then?
This one.
Yes, this just happened. One man from the Cape Verde side.
He made a
won the
meal out of it.
It was a dramatic.
It was
Okay.
nothing. However, you see, there is an advantage in playing a team that is well known and then one that is unknown. This team is unknown. It reminds me of Angola 2010.
2010. I was going to say that.
That team after the World Cup
Under
victory,
20.
the under-20 team. In Angola, we lost to Egypt in the final, but we had a team that had a huge component of the under-20, Dede Ayew, Ajaman Bedu, a host of those boys, and they did play so well. The commitment was there. Maybe from the point of view that they had just won the World Cup meant that they had a lot of confidence, and it did make a lot of difference at that competition. So you always can make a difference, depending on how you want to play. And Ghana has been under pressure, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because if you check our history or record, that is how come when we go to the World Cup.
Is that a free kick there that
yes,
we're taking?
Everybody is looking to score early. It is documented that Ghana are poor starters. And the first 15
I must say
minutes...
that it's been cleared.
Yeah. Yes. The first 15 minutes of every game, if you take your chances, they are in trouble. It is also documented that we are poor in terms of concentration. So when you have dead ball situations, you are likely to catch them off track. This is our history.
Okay.
After the World Cup, when FIFA or the technical people gather, this is something that runs through our game. So we meet USA, they try to score first. You meet top teams at that level. And I am not surprised that Cape Verde would have studied us and know that, and that is how come they are pushing just to make sure.
But I know we always go for an early goal.
But you would also understand that in Chris's tenure, he's won only one game with from the first half. Only once. With the 5 victories, only one
always been
came
in the second half.
Yes, only one came in the first half. So it tells you that we really have to struggle before we score. So I hope that they don't have to concede. If they concede early, it won't be very pleasant, because these boys at this stage, it's quite an ask, because most of them are not playing at their club's level. Most of them, yes. That cohesion that the 2010 team I cited had, they do not have it. Do they have the players to drive them? Because that kind of experience will have to be there, and we don't have that talent in our game. So I just hope that they don't have to.
It's apart from 2010, I think it's also similar to what happened in 2015 when we went to Equatorial Guinea, where we also went for another final. I mean, that time it was many more. We had a couple of unsung players, but we had experience. We had players who were making their debut. The difference, MFI, is always about the commander who is captaining or who is steering the affairs of the team.
You have confidence in this
and
commander.
then in this instance, it is the coach. I mean, unfortunately for us, in the last 10 years, we've not had coaches who exude confidence, and even though they may be good at what they do, their facial appearances anytime, you look at it and you're like, okay, I don't know what is going on in his mind. We don't know what to expect. Always a very calm demeanor. They don't yell. They don't shout. I mean, compare that to the Claude Leroy. And so if you don't have a captain or one player who takes up, and that is how come Dede Ayew became what he has become to the team, because he realized that at any given time you need somebody to marshal and get them going, and you have to be that kind of person to be able to do that. Asamoah Gyan is a captain. He would inspire because he will lead by example by scoring and playing well. But at some points, you need somebody to remind you.
From the list you see there, do you have anyone that you see marshalling and asking them to rally around it?
Unfortunately, you don't have it. And you see, MFI, there is something about seniority. When you are playing with somebody who is more experienced than you, and the person commands some aura and respect in the team, a look from him, a thumbs up from him, a clap from him, let's go. That's something to the team. At this moment, I don't think we have any of such person in the
Jordan not taking that up, at least.
Jordan. Have you ever seen Jordan smile? He doesn't.
He's aware. That one.
No.
It's because he's aware.
No,
he's aware.
Please.
You don't play.
I know. He says. Strong guys don't smile.
Okay.
So,
really? So the last explanation he gave, he said he's aware.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that at this moment, I am trying to figure out from the team, the players, who would take up that role of,
in terms of possession passes,
trying to get the team going, drive the team, push the team forward. Who is going to say that I am taking this team on my shoulders and running through? Jordan may be skillful, may be the most, at this point, on the outfield of play, he's the most experienced player there.
Yeah.
But does he have that?
The leadership.
No. So for me, it is going to be a collective effort. If they want to do individuals, it is going to hurt us. They would have to come together to ensure that they are like the late Afrani will say, we all moving, we all move out, we fall out to defend, we move out to attack. If we don't do that, and we want to show our skill, the Cape Verdes would probably take us.
Where are you seeing teamwork at play on the Ghanaian side?
We are losing all the 50-50 balls. We are last to every ball. We are reacting instead of taking the initiative. To think that Cape Verde are running rings is even laughable. Ghana has lost its fear factor for a long time, but it shouldn't look this bad because we have had no threat.
That's a goal.
We have had not a single threat.
Ghana is down.
And Richard Ofori has had no minutes this season, 0 minutes, and he's still your first choice goalkeeper. it's quite worrying. I hope that they will show a replay so that we can speak to how the build-up was. It came from the middle,
yeah.
and it appeared that we were caught ball washing. I don't know how the players
outside there coming from the left hand side.
It would have been an offside or so, but it means we are also not reading very well. So see how the build-up came.
Walk us through it.
Yes, from the left flank all the way to the right. All the
Right
way.
in the middle.
Even
But that was a
the
good
middle,
save,
right,
though.
right
That was a
And
good
then-
save.
But he parried the ball.
He should
to
have punched it. You parried it to the opponent.
an opponent that was.
You
At
carried
least
it.
he attempted a save.
And where was the
Oh,
marking?
no.
You had Odoi and Gideon. Was that Gideon closing in? Where was the marking? Watch again. Watch again. He was so unmarked.
There was nobody
in
there
our
to stop the ball.
defense. And even the follow-up, this was a follow-up that brought the goal.
Wow.
He was so unmarked. And when you do this, you will get punished. There is no coordination. Nobody is speaking. Not even Ofori, who is screaming now. This is not when you scream. Who is organizing the
And
defense?
the day screaming from the bench.
You can obviously say that nobody is organizing the defense. So
And
their
he is the
positioning are
captain.
looking really
Yeah,
poor.
today he's a captain.
You know, Ori is captaining the team, so he should be doing all
Yeah.
the work that any captain should do.
It's not
And
okay.
for a
That's one.
goalkeeper, that is the only advantage you have.
When you
to
put-
scream at your player.
Ghana together for the last 2 AFCONs. We've done 7 games. We've only won 1.
Me.
We've drawn 4 and lost 2. So it's either for a while we are not starting well. And I don't know why, but Ghana loves to do calculations and permutations,
Yes.
and sometimes we'll say, oh, we'll qualify by this and that. So most of the time, some of these calculations also may be a factor that sometimes pushes those young men to think that draws and maybe when you lose the first game, you would win the second game.
And
Because
we're just
watching our opponents play today, it means that Mozambique is not an easy catch. And then seeing what they did today
To Egypt.
and looking at the last minute goal, the last minute penalty for Mo Salah, it's obvious that if we don't play well
Is
now.
Pencil right asking for
Yes.
that kind of
No.
information?
No,
It's
it
not.
was too cheap and
He went for the ball.
But you were earlier just talking about the fact that we shouldn't concede
Yes,
early.
I mean,
Because
that's
we're saying that
that's
we
why.
always won in the second half, and now we've just conceded.
And you see,
And the guys are playing 3-3, which means that now they are going to close even.
that's what I'm
more.
saying. That their
then
game
wait to
plan
push
is
us.
to
Yeah.
play the hard pressing game, get an early goal, and they know that Ghana can do anything. And probably they are exploiting our weaknesses, which they know that we don't have any. I personally have really not been excited by the presence of our coach.
Okay.
Because
About
he hasn't done much to change the outlook of our game.
What were you
We have lost. Ghana doesn't have an identity now.
Oh.
No, I mean, for me, I have watched Black Stars. I mean, right from Senegal '92. Let's say that I watched the '82 one on TV as a kid. But at least my first real AFCON was Senegal '92, when we all cried.
With Ama Senegal.
Yes, for losing out the finals in a penalty. Since that time, I have watched and I have covered, I have been there. The heartbreaks, the excitements and everything. We've been part of it. Sometimes you watch a team and you know that you have played so well, but hard luck caused you. Right now, what is our identity? What is our style of play? What do? We had people who would, Camilo, we all knew that it was a one-goal project.
You're not even able
He will score you one and make sure that you don't score anything against him. I mean, if you need to beat him, it probably will be on penalties, like the Egyptians did. And so we had Abraham Grant, who went to Equatorial Guinea, and we all saw how it went. He played a psychology game where he would say that one moment Asamoah Gyan is not playing. All those things were part of the ploy. Okay. But when the players got onto the pitch, he knew what he could get from them. We've had, in the last 2 AFCONs, we haven't had anything. It's like, okay, so we will go and do our best.
Yeah.
We'll go and
We'll just
do our best.
participate.
Yes. It's just like you having the ingredients that you want to make soup. But sometimes there is something that you need to put in that soup.
A secret ingredient.
Yes, that makes the soup stand out or more tastier than the others. we haven't found that one yet. And if we don't do well, I mean, for me, I have very low expectations for this AFCON.
It saves you BP. Thank you.
Yes, I have not raised my hopes.
Oh, my hopes are high.
No, when we win,
bringing down the hope.
when we win, we will celebrate. I have always said that. When these days when Black Stars are playing, I don't invest my emotions into their game. When we win, it's a good win for us. I'll celebrate, I'll jump and yell and everything. When we lose, I tuck in and I'll go. It's one of those things. But what I want to see is, what is the progress we are making? What has happened to us? But, I mean, sometimes, not to demoralize the team. These are early days yet. But right from the start, we said that, look, they need to clear their defense. They don't have to make them keep the ball in their area, because the moment they do that, you are soaking in the pressure. And when you lose concentration, like Vero said, that momentary loss of concentration, it could cost us. And we are now down. How we have struggled to score. How do you recover from a team that is consistent, that is cohesive, that is more experienced, playing together?
It's been 22 minutes. You think it's time for a reorganization, injection of another player? Should there be some changes from where you sit? If you have to speak to Chris Hughton, Vero, from here,
somehow, whilst Dede has not played a while, and for some time now, he's always starting from the bench, somehow, looking at how the team is playing, I feel he should have started the game, because there is zero organization on the field. It looks like the players do not even know what to do. They are just running into every ball. We are last to every ball, losing all the 50-50 opportunities. We don't know when to attack, who to mark, and how to, progress. There is no progression in the team.
Are they surprised by
So
that?
you may just consider another good organization. It's not there.
That's a good save.
And
I think we should give it to him.
It was not a good save. It was rather going to hurt himself.
It seems that there is zero cohesion as well. It looks like a bunch of players who have never played together, and we have just gathered them and put the jersey on them to play. It shouldn't look like so. When you play in such games, we should see clear pattern in terms of progression. What is the progression? There is the ball floated again. To who in particular?
Nobody knows.
You cannot just float a ball
against an organized, a better organized
to a player. For what reason? There should be a motive behind it. Unfortunately, I have yet to see Ashimeru. We were hoping that with his creativity, experience, although this happens to be his first AFCON, he will stamp his authority. Now, what we are looking for is a player who can stamp his authority, be confident, and try to coordinate at zero. It is why I'm thinking that even in the day state, I would love to see him on the field, because there will be some sort of direction that is lacking now.
And
there is no direction.
There will be more experience because the Caverdians know what they bring. At this moment, we know that these days you don't play football with names. But tell me on the field, among the players that we have, who would command that respect and fear? I mean, sometimes we don't like to make those references. But I always say that in 2015, when the Algerians got to know that Asamoah Gyan was not going to play, they were excited.
When he had malaria.
Anytime they hear that Asamoah Gyan is not fit to start, the opponent is excited, because it means that one trouble of them, they can deal with the others. But at this moment, who is a threat to the Cape Verdes? We haven't seen anybody. I mean, maybe probably if Kudus was there, they would have seen Kudus. What kind of...
The guys, I see a lot of not concentrated people, not committed.
It's not commitment, it's the communication.
There is still a point of commitment, because, see, there was a ball that the number 8 lost. And he lost it because he was not even ready to pick it up.
No creativity, at least. That's what I see.
It's the communication. We are not well organized.
But for the first time, I am seeing Chris still clap his hand, and at least he's trying to speak to them.
I think that they need to relax. And
what's relaxation again, Rosalind?
Well, what I'm saying
they
is
are
that
over-relaxed on that pitch.
And what I'm saying
is
that
the problem.
When you go in trying to also play with the pressure, that is when you commit more errors and the opponents will capitalize on it. Because at this moment, Vero, you should know, and it's obvious that the strategy is to frustrate the Black Stars. Get them, draw
it's
them
working.
out. Draw them out, frustrate them.
And what is your strategy? Because when I check the look on the faces of the boys, these are boys who are beaten already. They are beaten. It's like they've given up. They don't know what to do. It will require someone to be that difference. And I don't see that on the field. Because though Jordan himself is experienced, he doesn't have that aura.
He doesn't have that aura compared to Dede. He doesn't have that aura. He's not a leader who would command that. And the goalkeeper who is the captain and who is supposed to be doing that himself is not communicating well. Because at this moment, they should have a way of communicating.
And it's also the same Ghanaians that were taking the day, and many people were talking about the fact that the day has not been playing for some time. Why is the day in there? Why is the day in there? But you see what's happening without him on the pitch.
I mean, they will say that put your best foot forward. So if you compare the statistics, the statistics work a lot. The day is experienced 3 more games, and he's the most African Cup in the competition. So it's a big deal. But on this page, if you compare whoever that is playing the day's role to the day, and the fact that there is zeros organization, have I even seen who is playing it? Zero organization, no inspiration, no organization. Where the boys
standing,
yes, all jittery and not knowing what to do, then you know you need a leader. And on the bench, it's Gideon. On the bench, you don't have a kind of a player. And I do feel that we will need someone to do that, to instill that in the boys if the coach is unable to do it from the touchline.
And possession already, 60% on the side of...
Of course, of course.
And 30% on our
when
side.
we're starting, I told you that they are there to possess. The format or the formation they are playing, they don't intend to let Ghana have a feel of the ball for too long.
And I also think the referee is also not doing us any good.
Oh, there we go.
No,
what's happening? What's happening with the referee?
So a lot of things. For instance, you just watch this. Most of the time, there are balls for it. Who took this away?
But they didn't go off the line.
It's not away.
It was in play.
No, relax.
It was not out.
It went off the line.
Did it?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And the flag didn't go up?
No.
Okay.
So that could have been an oversight. I don't think the referee has...
There's been...
He hasn't been appointed.
There's been a lot more infringements from their side towards us that the referee is not speaking about.
But that's aside. For me, I always say that you would have to play to the whistle. The referee is not whistling. So do you allow that to affect you?
Our guys are not even able to...
Nobody is running into place.
So, look, we haven't held the ball for even 1 minute.
We haven't
held the ball past strings passes together for even 1 minute.
It's like they are allergic to the ball on the field. They just don't want to keep the ball.
They are not even running into space. They are not reading.
That's a crazy allergy.
Really, it's like an
where the
allergy.
ball should be.
But this allergy, I don't want to have
any of that.
I don't know how they intend to create the goal. I don't know how they want to create the goal because we are not youths. We are not giving up the passes. I prefer to have the ball, have the passes. Some time ago, I think the last AFCON, somebody was calculating the number of passes we were stringing together before we would get to the opponent's goal area. I prefer to have that one, knowing that we still hold the ball to the opponent's goal area, that this kind of play where, you get the ball and in less than 20 seconds, you have been dispossessed of the ball. We are not creating. We are not daring. We have allowed the Cape Verde goalkeeper to be on break.
We have a free kick. Let's see how it goes. Was that what you were expecting?
No, they did not even attack it. Jordan is the best free kick taker in there. But to what he was trying to do, I have no idea. He was floating the ball. And if you are going to, if you are going to float the ball, players should know this is the intention. I think Gideon tried to
we've had people take that free kick at that spot and
score. But we've always been, I think the distance was quite far, but we've always been really poor at taking free kicks.
We haven't set pieces.
Ghana, Ghana
we haven't done too well.
We are poor. It's something we have not
We don't
specialized
make good
in.
use of our set pieces. It's rare. I mean, you need to have somebody who has a power strike in the
Like Sule Muntari.
Sule and Mubarak Wakasu.
Yeah, someone to bend it over.
Somebody who exerts the energy to.
Or have the technique, to read that if I bend it over like this, is going
I mean, people
here.
should
We
not
don't
get
have
us wrong. We are not saying that technically the players are not good. But I think that we have seen the writing on the walls from day one, that we were not doing something right. What is the point in having all the best players when you cannot make something out of them? This will be a start of the golden generation, but we cannot call them the golden generation because they are... that is why I said a start of a new set of golden generation.
It's not even a start
because of the talent that we have. But for you to qualify to become a golden generation, you have to give us something to celebrate for. You need to give us the results. At this moment, we are not getting it. And our body language, the body language of the players themselves.
Seeing Jordan's body language, for instance, it tells.
As for him,
it talks about frustration at this point. What is frustrating
You can never
him?
read his body language.
But today is showing at least. I see some frustration.
Well, if you have seen
That's just Jordan.
If you have seen it, then that is it. But
It's just a point of how we are playing, and we just keep floating without making any sense to our floating.
Okay.
Because watch Juku. Before this moment, he was all alone and mugged. A ball came to him from through. All he needed to do was to control it and decide who is moving. But he just kicks it back at through. Obviously, that's a player without confidence. Because he has no confidence in who do I pass the ball to. What is our idea of progression? That I'll find somebody in space and give the ball to. If we are not lucky, we are conceding again. To give the ball to, and we'll progress it at this style. It is zero. And it makes Chris look so bad. Because the question you are asking is, what do these lots learn at training? Because
What
they are
is teaching them?
Yes, executing nothing that shows it's a coached team. It's unfortunate, but they look so bad, it makes him look bad.
it makes him look bad.
I think we feel bad at this point because I still haven't seen any
I think it makes
action.
all the coaches look bad, not just him.
the
Yes, we have-
technical team.
Yes, it's just
The
a whole technical team.
But he's leading it.
And
Once-
supposedly,
yeah.
you are supposed to have a good balance. A
Yes.
technical team that has all manner of people that should
Yes.
be able to do it. One that people celebrated a lot.
Yes, from Dramani to...
Yes.
Oh, God.
It's George in there.
Yes,
It's-
George is in there.
It's
George is there,
a huge
Dramani is
indictment
there. So-
on what we are doing. It means that there is something wrong.
Oh, he didn't score.
He did not.
There is no follow-up.
Nobody there to follow.
It didn't go.
There was no
Oh,
Oh, it's a goal.
it's a good one.
It had to come from a place like that when no one is
At least
because
let's
Cape
celebrate
Verde-
them.
No, I'm
You see-
saying that.
you see-
Cape Verde-
Yeah.
We could have scored that
This
one.
is 2 goals, actually. It would have been 2 goals.
No, it couldn't have been because by now we would have gone back to
Yes.
something.
This is not the time to celebrate, and that is the thing I like. You see,
That's what I like about Jordan and
You
Dede.
can't celebrate.
They wouldn't have celebrated.
They'll go
Look at him. Look at your captain. Look at your captain.
Go put it back on the center line for a race track. I mean,
We are going to celebrate a little.
Look at how he's doing. Go back and play. You are here celebrating. We don't want a draw.
Look at the build-up here.
This could have
No,
been that
that should have been a
Listen,
goal.
even the build-up was suspect. It progressed. After 1-2 ball, was Semenyo trying to score or was he trying to pass?
Yeah.
Look at it. Was he scoring? He was scoring
He
from
was
there.
scoring from
and
there.
you had a player who was free.
in the middle
It
of
is
the
why
path.
he was not even able to do the follow-up.
Communication.
This actually,
Yeah.
as Mero scored, only because Cape Verde was still trying to recover
from the
attack, and they were out of them. That is how we score. And I see that it is how we are going to get goals because we do not have the creativity to progress, to decide this is how we are going to attack. So we may have to depend on a lot of these drives. But you would want to hope that when you play against opposition.
Like a
when
bit better organized, experienced.
you were in trouble.
Yes.
And now what will happen? It's a level playing field. Black Stars won.
So-
Cape Verde won.
He's going to check on the VAR.
Oh, what's he going to check?
That's
So
interesting.
maybe the
First one, whether it was actually a goal.
yeah,
maybe the six have been a handball.
Yeah, there was a handball.
For the first one, the first attempt?
Yes.
Or is it the second one he's checking? So there's a VAR
But
Oh,
it
dear.
could be an offside.
check.
He
The referee
offside.
is watching.
Was it? He drove
So
the
from the
ball.
lines you're
Was
seeing-
he the one? No, the strike came from the midfield. So
Yes.
he wasn't interfering
With play.
His back was against the post.
Okay.
And this was a long drive. It wasn't a pass. Hey, okay.
It could be.
Okay.
So tell me, what do you
Now
see?
that they are shuffling around, it appears.
But he didn't touch
It
him.
didn't touch him.
He didn't touch him.
It didn't touch him.
Oh my God.
Okay, so he's watching. Let's see
Ah.
what he comes out with. Is he going to say it's not a goal? Look at
He
it.
didn't touch
He
him.
didn't touch him.
Came.
He went straight.
I do not think it was.
Maybe he's checking if it was actually
It's
a goal.
not.
Oh, as for the goal, it is because
is,
it hit
yes.
the back of the net. But probably
Whether it
he's
stands
looking
or
at
not.
something that we also did not
Maybe
see.
to give us the two goals.
maybe the
Maybe the
camera-
first
No,
one and
no,
the second.
that doesn't happen. That
one
one
didn't
doesn't happen.
happen. Okay.
That one doesn't happen. I mean,
MFA wants
if,
two goals.
I want two goals as well.
1 second.
if that one was lost, had hit, or the ball had hit the line and bounced back, and play had continued, maybe then somebody would have said VAR. So let's see whether the ball actually crossed the line.
Okay.
That one would be. But I
The,
just
the guy didn't touch it.
He didn't touch it. Was
But he's still trying to find out.
how long is this taking?
I wonder exactly what they are checking.
They're
That's what I
discussing.
don't get.
Offside positioning.
Was it?
No, he is trying to.
The machine is trying to.
Okay.
I think the replay. What they are trying to preempt that perhaps it was an
offside.
But I think this minute
He's done watching.
The referee is coming
Back.
back. So have your prayers been said already?
VAR says
No goal.
no goal.
So,
Oh
we
dear.
really need to see. Something must have happened. It looks like
Okay.
there was an offside somewhere.
How do we explain this?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's football.
VR has been funny.
Oh,
eh?
no.
Some of the decisions
As
they
for this
take, but I
VR.
really want to see where the. And, oh, him.
Even two of them.
Him.
Even
No,
two of them.
him. You know, the one with his back against the pole was not interfering. But
But
this
him.
was run as if
He was going
that.
to-
Yes, he was expecting the ball. So he
Yeah,
was
the number
progressing. So
13.
it was who was that?
Oh no.
But I hopefully it gives them the confidence that if they go ahead a bit, if they try the bit, whether
that's
it's from the
demoralizing.
middle.
No, it does not for the player.
It's
for
practice
players,
game.
it does not because they know, and most of them are playing international, and they know that VAR is always there to sometimes disqualify some of your goals, even when it's the nicest goals of all.
Oh. So
it'll
this
be
was
fine.
an offside goal.
No,
Or what
it's
was
fine.
it? No, like
I want to believe
really.
it was an offside. I don't know why there is no communication, but I do believe it was an offside goal based on what the camera seen.
Yeah, I mean,
The
I told you, that's why I was telling you that it was an offside. I mean, somebody seems to be in a similarly offside, that they would always see similarly offside positioning.
Oh, after all
And
the
the
jubilation.
well, but
I
it
didn't really
happened.
celebrate a lot, so
You didn't think
They,
that
they,
it was.
they should score.
I don't know
goal
whether
that-
it was Salisu who was
Oh, it
offside.
was Painso.
Salisu would have been.
It looks like he was.
Salisu was
Okay,
offside.
Salisu.
He was running towards goal still.
Oh,
if he
dear.
was, then
But at least
he was.
Vim Day.
Maybe it
from
gives
what
them
we've seen.
some kind of confidence.
I mean, going into the end of the first half, it would have given them some confidence for them to, come in and go take a rest, go back to the drawing board and see what they should be doing better than they have done. MFR, I've always said that, look, playing against these supposedly minnows in football is no longer a child's play. You can't take them for granted anymore. Technology has so improved and advanced that now everybody thinks that it is possible to win, even if you don't have the best of players, the most celebrated names. The most important thing is the technique, the organization, and the planning.
At it. Look at it. How
Why
is
did he play it
heading-
back?
How is he for the ball? How is
Heading
he
it
heading
out.
that ball when he was under no threat? look at it again. You see, the boys are not focusing.
And that is why I'm saying
They're not
that
concentrating.
concentration
It
and
was-
communication. You are already under pressure. And meanwhile, this one, there was no pressure on you. So why would you want to? Why did you head the ball backwards? Just control the ball and play. Just control the ball and play. And look at him too.
The team has zero confidence.
I've told you there is nobody, holding them, carrying the
So
team
that's the
along.
corner.
There is nobody carrying the team along.
Yeah, at least you know.
And the
that.
coach himself is not doing that. So that is what we need right now.
You know, with all the football some of us have seen in our lives, this is so unfair.
There's so much pressure on us again in our half. It's
This
clear.
is
It's now-
so
No?
unfair that we assemble a group of boys like this and this is all we get. We are supposed to be a football nation, for crying out
Are
loud.
we still a football nation?
Yes,
no,
we are.
not.
Yes, we are for Black Queens and for and for
Yeah,
the
I'm glad to
under,
hear
for the
that.
under 20 and under 17
You know, we
men.
are.
I'm glad to hear
We
that.
are
Yes,
a
we are.
football
We are.
nation.
That.
We are a football nation. What we haven't done well is our
Oh, in
planning.
recent times, what's his name? Laia Kingston took them to, was it a 17?
Yes.
That he took to Germany. And then I think we won the trophy.
What trophy was that?
I
won the World Cup?
I
we
know.
won.
For what we have done in the past and what we continue to do with the production of individual players, we will always be
much.
regarded
No
as
concentration on the
as a
field.
football
So
nation.
much no
On
concentration.
paper.
So much.
But
There's pressure on us again. 43
They're not
minutes.
concentrating.
It looks like
And our middle is so weak that
just
we are not
don't
able
know
to
what to
hold anything around our middle.
so everything is on the defense.
Yeah.
It says a lot of
you
things
know,
about the
the
way the team was
Cape
set
are
up.
playing with so much disrespect for Black
Yes.
Stars, and
Yes.
it's not
It's
fun.
like they are playing with some children.
It's
actually,
not
at
fun.
this
It's
point.
like
the way
they
they
are
are passing the
teasing
ball.
you out to just let you know that this. We can do anything we want with you, and that is where I get upset because we shouldn't be going through this. These are some of the things that I have seen, and I always say that look, for me, it was a risk going to the AFCON with Chris because we had seen what he had been able to do in the past. We had seen what we were heading for. If you cannot, for even those times that people would tell us, some of the coaches would tell us that they were rebuilding their team. At least you saw some kind of seriousness, some work ethics, some play. You could see what they wanted to do. At this moment, we can't string passes together. We can't identify what we are playing. Are we playing area balls? Are we playing a turkey ball? Are we doing 1, 2, 3, balloon the ball, look for the person who is closest and who can dash forward and pass the ball to him to go and threaten and open up? Who is creating for somebody to come and score?
Are you
Who is
playing like an
that is what I'm telling you that
they can
Yes.
pass from the back
Yes.
and have the confidence for a goalkeeper to pass to players? and
But
string
I am
forward
telling you that
5 passes.
technology and training
not
and preparation makes it possible.
Are you watching
We
it,
no longer
You're not
have.
even talking to the extent that, do you see how the players crossed each other?
It's the way the team has been set up.
They're a coordinated team. They look very coordinated.
It's the way the team has been set up. You are standing in an
see.
offside position again.
Yeah, and then we're still in an offside.
He's even lucky because they had lined up in the offside position.
They don't know all this.
The players?
Yes.
A lot of them are playing abroad, so they do know.
There's not a lot of them. Which of the players there plays in Ghana or even in Africa? All of them are. They are all European based, and they play week in, week out with their clubs. Even if you don't play, you train. Sometimes you get the opportunity to sit on the bench as a sub, and so you should be able to do it. My worry is
That's
that
Chris going.
Yeah, they are trying to give Chris a heart attack.
Really?
He just held his heart.
Yes, yes. So let's see. There's a free kick here, right? Is that the very last
Yeah,
one? Jordan is taking
Just
that.
don't bang on it often.
I
We
shouldn't
don't
say.
score too many.
Oh, something can happen at
Yeah,
this
sometimes.
point. Yeah.
Sometimes. But
At
I'm
this
saying
point,
that don't put all your heart.
Jordan is
You
providing
know
that leadership
Yeah,
that
Jordan
we've
is
been
trying
talking
to-
about. Yes, trying to provide it now at this point.
Yeah, you wanna hope that
I miss
so
we are
right.
able to get parity here before the halftime break.
Yeah, at least
have
if
just a
it's
few minutes
if
to
it's
go
a draw, then we
for the
know
first half.
we are coming back to be stronger.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so it's a free kick that we are taking at this point.
It's a free kick.
Okay.
The way they've lined up, I see that he'll go straight at the
Yeah.
Or he
goalkeeper.
passed. He
It
passed.
doesn't look like
He
he'll
passed.
Oh,
I
he was
dear.
going
He
straight.
passed.
Balloon.
He passed.
He passed.
He passed.
passed
He was going to pass.
Passed
I
it.
mean,
It was a very
once the
short
two of
pass.
them there and they said something, it
passed
was a pass.
He passed it.
It was a pass. See? And I think the technique,
The technique was
the
bad.
technique was bad.
Because the pass was
Too high.
moving away from him. So he didn't have a lot
So
of
he could have,
control.
he could have passed and allowed Ashi to come just take it. I mean, sometimes it's a decoy. Sometimes it's a decoy.
But at
Somebody
this
will
point,
run.
You want to do decoys when you can just go ahead and take it and go for
You
goal.
also look at.
We don't have the
you also
time
look
for
at the
decoys.
positioning
When
of
you
the
can't bend it
goalkeeper.
like Beckham, you don't have time for
You
any
also
decoys at this
You
point.
also look at the positioning of the goalkeeper and see what you can beat him with.
Sometimes a decoy work because once you push the ball to another person, maybe the line will just
They move or
they
jump.
move in expectation that you are about to pass the ball. You should have passed the ball a long time ago.
Yes.
Been clear.
And
You
we are
couldn't-
so standing. I mean, and our players, nobody is moving in to even support.
Nobody is following up. The follow-up is never there.
You're almost there. Looks like 3
This was
minutes
Jordan.
on, and it's time for the first half.
Semen.
Yeah, we
I
have
don't know
less
whether
than a second.
he'll put
Yeah.
some extra
Sure.
time. They've not
I think
finished.
we've done the extra time.
years,
Yes,
4
we did
minutes.
it.
It's even not. Oh,
They
it's
have
about
like
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Before the end
Just
of
a
the
few
first
seconds,
half.
yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been a nice showing for the Black Stars. It's not looked good at all. It's embarrassing for their pedigree. I hope they do feel like that.
Someone
That
in there.
is John over there. They do
Okay.
feel like that and push all the way because you can't see whatever strategy or setup that we are playing. It appears that the players are all clustered in one place and they are not anticipating the balls. They are not, thinking before moving. Ofori did poorly there with that goal he conceded. I'm not surprised. He's had no minutes at the club level. So match fitness is always very important. But my biggest worry is that the organization has been very poor. There's been no leadership. You haven't seen a group that want to fight at all costs. And even for individuals, we haven't seen one brilliant individual who is able to carry the team.
Yeah.
And it's quite unfortunate because, yeah, we've fallen down the peg. We are not at where we used to be, but it doesn't have to look this bad. It
Well,
doesn't
we will talk about what to expect and what changes there have to be made, at least before we come back from the first half. The locker room, what should we be talking about once we go into the locker room, for instance? Gifty, I don't know, maybe at this point you can make a call to La Côte d'Ivoire and let them know what should happen at this point. What do you expect should happen before we come back?
I think
Maybe we'll go.
we have a lot of the ESCO members there, so including their president and the vice, so they would speak to them.
We want our female rep to tell them something.
But I think Chris would have to take up a lot of leadership, especially in his own dressing room. At this point, it's obvious that his boys are not concentrating, and then they don't know what to do. So maybe he would have to bring them together. Sometimes, I tell people that at times coaches think their players are that smart, but often than not, you'll be amazed that players are not that smart.
They need that.
And they would need all of these conversations to be able to, because some of them are playing as if they are not even on the field, or as if they are home and they decided to play with their friends. They are not playing with any sense of urgency.
Yeah.
They are not playing for Ghanaians to know that this is the Ghana we know.
Yeah.
Like she said, it's sad. And for me, it's a misfeeling. Now, when you sit to remind yourself of all the other people, all the matches we've watched, it looks like this is like our under-17 playing. And I was quite worried, and I'm not surprised. Maybe we had decided to select one of the league, maybe the top of the league, the Ghana Premier League, to maybe represent us.
And then maybe
it would have been better because
it would have been better. But
Legon City played Namibia. They had a draw, and even the draw, they led till about the 95th minute before Namibia could score. Ghana played Namibia, and if you ever got snipers of it, it looked like we're an infantile team, and Namibia was so ahead of us.
And that's what is happening.
And that's what is happening now.
Let me take you to Osu. My colleague, Maxwell Apapa, is on standby. You could hear them jubilating there, and it's been deflated. Maxwell, really, crestfallen people here in the studios, but I don't know the situation in Osu. Take us away.
Well, I'm about it's the same feeling here. A lot of the people I've been interacting with are disappointed. Yeah, some of them are actually impressed about the Black Stars' performance. One of the most disappointing moments we had was when the goal that was scored by Majida Shimurero was disallowed after that VAR check. Some of the people I'm speaking to here are of the impression that the Black Stars are playing well, and they are playing well. They tell me that they think that they are playing well and they revived their game after they conceded that goal. And many of them are not happy because they say that seems to be the trend. The Black Stars will not play well until they concede a goal, and they want that to change. They feel that if they come back from the break and they play with the same energy that they are playing with after they consider that goal, then definitely they can equalize and perhaps score another goal to win this game, for Ghana. But I have Abigail Sosu here. She's a journalist. She's a sports journalist. Let me talk to her and find out from her what her impressions are for the first time. Hi, Abigail. Welcome to join us.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm well myself.
I'm doing well too. You're a sports journalist and you've been watching this game. What are your impressions so far?
Well, it's been a little disappointing from the fact that we used to pride ourselves as a country that has, if I can say, a handful of the most creative midfielders on the continent. But in time past, we've been struggling to get a hold of that accolade again. We've seen the exploits of Thomas Partey in recent times, then a certain Mohamed Kudus, and now we are not really getting wind of what really is happening, that he couldn't even make the squad to even be on the bench. I'm sorry, but what I saw lacks creativity. We were just running after every other ball at every point in time. At a point in time, someone asked me what formation we were playing. It looks so, I'm sorry, like when we used to say women play football and just follow the ball. I'm not really seeing that touch of the Ghanaian game that we know and have had in time past. But I will not take anything away from Richard Ofori. He's shown class. He's shown that he's been the sickest pair of hands for some time till he got injured and all of that. No one will blame him for that goal because he did his best. But again, where were his back line to do that follow-up for him? So I feel that I still see that disconnect. There's nothing really linking the Black Stars. Prior to this tournament, a lot have said that it would take individual ingenuity if we really want to see something from the Black Stars. That I think I want to lean into that assertion or conversation, because as a team, it's off for me, but waiting for that one person to turn things around. We thought at this point in time it would have been Kudus, but hey, wherever he is, we just do not know. I expect something better from the Stars in the second half. Let's up our game. Let's play as a team. I cannot mention up to 6 or 5 names in that Cape Verdean team, but they are playing as a unit, and so it is working. So we need to get that back. Egos must lay low, play as a team, grab that understanding from that defense to that midfield, and let's see what we can do for ourselves. But it's not really impressive after 45 minutes. Yeah.
To win this game, you mentioned that we need to play as a unit. You talked about individual brilliance. I've seen that from Majida Shimurero. Ashimeru. I've seen that from Joseph Pencil also, on the field. Are you impressed by their performance?
Personally, for some of us that know what they can do on any day, Joseph Pencil, right from the days at Mayus, always wanted to take the game and own it if things were not going well, even for a club side here in Ghana before leaving. So it is something that he has run along over the whole time. And this is some of the reasons a lot of us, including former captain Samajan, were clamoring for the inclusion and looking for Majid Ashimeru. Those two have their own talent, or let me say that individual spark that they'll give you at any point in time, but how do you inculcate that into the many that do not have that? And that is what Chris Hughton is not really giving us. We need to see how you blend that individual talent and make them blossom for the glory of the team. But it looks like how you're able to pick them up is for their individual glory still. We need that to work for the team, and I think that's what we need to work on.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You just had Abigail Sosu there. She's a sports journalist. Someone was whispering in my ears that at this point the Blasters will have to win this game because if they lose, it doesn't only affect us socially. Economically also, it affects us. And you can see what is happening here. I saw a lot of bottles on the tables, people eating, drinking, chewing, and having fun. And it's like, they're all now on your phone. Less drinking, less chewing. And if we lose this game, it's going to affect everything in this country. We have to win. Let me speak to more people. Hi, what's your name?
Benty.
What's your name?
Benty.
Pencil?
Yeah.
Pencil?
Benty.
Oh, okay, great. Talk to me. What are your impressions of the game?
It's been a nice game. We've had our moments in the game, and I think the manager has to tell the boys to do better. With our defense, it has been questionable. Our defending has been questionable, and I think the manager has to, which is the coach, Chris Hughton has to look at that. Dennis Odoi, it seems not having a game, as well as Ransford Konesdorfer also is finding it difficult to cope with the African terrain. So I just think that Chris Hughton and his technical team need to step up, tell the boys to do better, and I think that they will be able to come up. If we've done better in the 90 minutes of the game, getting the equalizer before it was denied by VAR. Majid Ashimeru has had a good game so far, and I think with how his partnership has been with Baba Idrisu, it's been one-sided. We are only seeing the side of Majid Ashimeru, but you're not getting much from Baba Idrisu. There's no solidity in that midfield. We want to see some form of solidity. So I just think that Chris Hughton has to do better in terms of how he organizes the players, and maybe Jordan Ayew also has to improve.
Okay. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I love the analysis. Like I say, the Blasters would have to win this game for us, because now the excitement, when we came, the excitement was above 100%. Now it has dropped. Yeah, it has dropped. You can see on the faces of all the people, that some of them are optimistic that when we come back from the break, we're going to have a good game. Hi, what's your name?
Ryan.
Tell me, are you impressed with the Blasters?
Oh, I'm very impressed. We are trying our best. It's good.
Trying our best. You think we're going to win?
Yeah, we're going to win 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
That's your prediction?
Yeah, in favor of Ghana. We're going to win.
In favor of Hi, what's your name?
Dennis.
Dennis, tell me, are you impressed with the Blasters?
Well, I think the players are doing well, but we lost the first half from the bench. You can see we were playing 9 against 11 in the first half. You get it? We were playing 9 against 11. All our midfielders are playing defensive. Majid Ashimeru, who's supposed to move and hold ball and give passes, he's also playing as a DM. You get it? And we don't have a holding midfielder in the match. And again, Antoine Semenyo, who's supposed to be our striker, is also defending. He's running a lot, and the balls are not coming to him. So the coach should change his strategy going into the second half, and should make sure either they place Ransford at the right position or take him off. That's all.
So what do you think will be the final scoreline?
definitely if the coach is able to augment the squad wall, as I said, in the second half, I think we can equalize and add one goal to it. So definitely 2-1.
Just go on Facebook and
Thank you. Your prediction?
2-1
for Ghana. 2-1 for Ghana.
Live stream, no.
We want to see that happen. We waited to see that. Yeah, it's going to happen. How it's going to pan out, during the second half. So you can see a lot of people here. Let's show the crowd. That is here. A lot of people here. Many of them. Some of them are hopeful. Others also telling us that, be cautiously optimistic. Let me speak to more of them. Hi, what's your name? Okay. Hi, can we talk to you? Hi, what's your name? Fred. What's your name? Fred. Okay. Your prediction? Your prediction?
At least draw. I think we can
At least a draw.
Yeah.
Many said that we're going to win the game now.
With what I see now, I can't bet. With what I see now, I can't bet at it.
So you think we are going to equalize?
That is fate. That is fate. But then that is fate. But from what I see, I don't think we can score.
But fate moves mountains.
Not with these people now, my brother. Don't try it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, Amazon, that's what is happening here at Serali. Scores of people have gathered here. A gentleman I spoke to earlier was telling me, hi, what's your name? Okay. A gentleman I was speaking to earlier was telling me that, look, Maxwell, we sacrificed our sleep to be here to support the Black Stars. Tomorrow is Monday. I have to be in the office as early as 5 a.m., but I'm here supporting the Black Stars. They cannot lose this game. They have to win. So I'm here supporting them. That's one of the gentlemen I spoke to earlier. His name is Joe. Let me speak to this man. Hi, what's your name? Hi, what's your name?
Cool, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not in full side. I don't go full side.
Oh, you did full side? No, make it not full side. Make it not full side. What's your prediction? What's your prediction?
I should say Ghana go win.
Sure, say Ghana go.
Yeah, Ghana go. Yeah, 2-1. Sure.
What be the score? What do you think will be the score?
The next 45 minutes.
2-1.
Yeah.